afternoon, good morning, and welcome to episode 4 of Becoming Awesome. Can't believe a month flew by so quickly, but we're excited about our guest this week. I'm Ray Thomas, Senior Recruiter with AWS's Talent Acquisition Team and co host of this podcast where we, Amazon Insiders, will introduce you to the humans of AWS. I'm now going to pass it over to my partner in crime, Jenna Last, for guest intros.
Hello, I'm so excited to have you both, and especially you, Renzo, that I will refer to as the big boss after having several people from your organization. Renzo heads up the solutions architect function for the federal nonprofit and health business that we have hosted this entire month. So hope you got to learn, and now you'll get to meet Renzo and one more person, Rayette, from his team. Renzo, thank you so much for sharing them all. And I just want to provide you a recap of some nuggets that we got from your people. And also for the viewers, if you didn't get to watch any of the episodes, pick and choose based off of some of these snippets. So, episode 1, we had Rupesh Mishra, who gave us some really great tips on setting goals. You may also know Blake Beltrima on the sales side. Blake bravely showed up with a black eye. He was beaten up by his canoe, but he gave viewers some really great career advice. Then we had on episode 2, Freddie Johnson and Haley De Silva, and they went really deep on DE&I. And then finally, episode 3, we had Jerome Johnson on your team with Kurt Robinson, and they shared a whole lot of nuggets on getting outside of comfort zones and feelings of belongings. In fact, Kurt was in his car. So I think that's when he does his best solutioning. And I recommend to you, anytime you need to tap into Kurt, have him go into his car. So thank you again for sharing these incredible people with us. And last but not least, we're excited to meet you, Rayette. So please introduce yourself.
Well, hello everyone. Pleasure to be here with you today. I'm currently a senior solutions architect in AWS Worldwide Public Sector Federal Civilian space here. Mainly supporting our customers in civics, the federal piece of nonprofit and health. I've been in technology for 22 plus years here, and had a bit of a career lattice getting into AWS for sure.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And Renzo, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Renzo Rodriguez. I lead the Federal Nonprofit Healthcare SA organization. Been here at AWS now for a little over 3.5 years, but I've dedicated my entire career supporting the public sector space. Worked in multiple telecom companies in the past. Worked at Sprint and AT&T and Verizon. Also worked at a cloud computing company called Terramark, and worked at NetApp and VMware, and now AWS. And it's been a fantastic ride so far.
Excellent.
Awesome. Rayette, I want to go back over to you. You share that you're currently an SA. I'm not sure if the viewers know that you have been a TAM as well. So can you help the viewers understand the difference between the TAM role, the SA role, maybe a little bit about your journey, and can one do the reverse, go from SA to TAM?
Oh, sure. So the technical account manager role, the TAM role, is essentially a technical role, same as the SA role here. The one defining kind of difference is the TAM role is in the support organization, whereas the SA role is in the sales organization. There's an intertwine between the two. Definitely both support our customers in an intimate fashion for sure, right? Both have a high tech bar in general. Both are helping to provide solutions for our customers and help them with optimization and strategically thinking about how we can achieve their mission, our customers' missions, right? I think the only differentiator that I would put out there, being in both roles, as someone who's sat in both roles, is sometimes the TAM role goes more into the operational space than the SA role. But there's a lot of intertwine there, and we work together and bring that energy that we need to bring to help support our customers as a team on the account team.
So nice. Is there any roles that would follow as well that you
So,
may have your mind on?
um, well, I mean, yeah, I'll step back a little bit. Um, I have had a career lattice, right? So I started off, very early in a career as a culinary officer at DC Corrections, right? That's where my interest in technology came. And then I went into data entry and I was like, what about the plumbing? How does this plumbing work with this technology in that role? And then I went into technology, starting at the help desk and kind of progressively going upwards in a ladder form. And then it became a lattice where it wasn't like I'm gonna go to the next level in this current role. I'm really thinking about, what other technical roles, rather it's IC or management, right, that I can go into that kind of suits my career path. And I kind of own that career path, and I'm always thinking about what's the next step and how things will look 3, 5 years out. As a matter of fact, when I mentor others, the first thing I want to know is, what is your career path? What do you think? What do you want to do 3, 5, 10 years out, so that that mentoring relationship we have could be a fruitful one going forward?
Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Rayette. And so I'm going to turn it over to you now, Renzo. When you looking at talent like Rayette and the rest of your org, what tell us a little bit about your leadership style and kind of like what keeps you up at night when you're thinking about, how do you help or how do you enable your team to do the best for their customers? And also, how do you help them grow their own professional careers?
Yeah, to me, when my leadership style is really about leading for the people, the whole concept of servant leadership, right? I'm really focused on the team and making sure they have what they need so they can excel with their customer engagements, but also excel in their career progression. It's really critical, right? Their whole aspect of making sure the proper enablement is in place for those that we hire in and onboard and help them be successful in their current role is really key. But it's the continuous involvement and enablement of those SAs as they progress through their career at AWS. And the thing that keeps me up at night, I think, if you really think about the federal space, the nonprofit space, the healthcare space, we have an opportunity to really hyper focus on our customers' mission. And that mission really can positively impact millions of people's lives, right? So when we think about the workloads that we're enabling or architecting in the cloud, we have to make sure we're doing it correctly. So there's a positive experience not only for our customers, but also the individuals that are utilizing those particular workloads on the front end, right? So that's really key from that perspective.
Thank you for sharing that. And it's interesting. I saw some of your personal photos. I see your family, et cetera. And I always talk about public sector in general. It's a much more mission driven team, right? And you're thinking about the people around you and how technology is helping them improve their lives. I mean, does that ever play into why you're here or anything like that, or like what keeps you here?
That is the reason I'm here. It's the only reason I'm here. It's one of those things where I've hyper focused my entire career in the public sector space, and it's for that reason. I want to make sure that anything that I do has that positive impact for our community and society in general. And we're doing it with technology, which I think is fantastic. I'm a nerd at heart. So the fact that we can do this and do it in the cloud and have our customers be successful in their missions and how they're actually supporting our citizens and the global society in general through technology, etc., it's fantastic, right? So that's why I'm here. It's all about that.
Excellent, excellent. We have a question in the chat, and I might throw this over to you, Rayette. Let's see. Let me show this up and let's read it. It says, as SAs, what are some best practices for working with other roles like sales and partners?
Oh, good question. So I think some best practices, yeah, are to function as one team, right? I think it's actually a theme that we have here, in that we are syncing up on a regular basis we're trying to understand and know the customer and understand the customer mission as a unit, right? So that we can deliver the results that we need to deliver there, and also help our customer think, have big thoughts and have big thinking about what they're needing to achieve, right? It is very important that we work with our customers. They are our force multipliers, right? And without them, it makes it kind of interesting journey to work with those customers. And so when the partners come in, they already have relationships a lot of time with our customers, and we're just there to augment that. And from a sales standpoint, we're looking at things very strategically at how we can help that customer with their cloud adoption, with their net new workload, with migrating their uh, uh, their applications and resources into AWS, and also working back from the customer as well, right? Instead of, kind of, the best experience that I've seen is when we work back from the customer and we actually are not focusing in on what we can do for the customer, only what we can do with the customer, but what they're trying to achieve, and not concentrating on how we can get more sales from that customer, but how we can help them achieve that mission.
Yeah, so with interacting with so many different people and focusing on the customer, that's a lot of, direction and voices and maybe different priorities. So, question for either one of you is, what's the most surprising thing you've learned about yourself working here and being in these really complex types of situations and relationships?
Who wants
Wanna
to
go first,
take this
Rayette?
one?
Sure, I'll go first. I think over the last 6 years that I've been at AWS in general, I found out about myself that I am fed by service, right? When I was at TAM, we were given an option of, you want to go to commercial, you want to go to public sector, right? And all our customers are great. But when I heard that, had to make that decision, I decided on public sector because I thought I would be of more service to those who serve, rather than in the commercial kind of vertical there. And so what I learned by myself is I got really, really passionate about what we're doing to save life and property, to protect our citizens and provide civic services to our citizens, that I wanted to serve in that capacity, and not just, work in the realm of, here's the technology and here's what you can do.
How about you, Renzo?
Yeah, so I'll add this. Like, I've been working in the public sector space for over 20 years, and I love it. And I do it for a reason, because it really is all about the mission and how we can impact, in a positive manner, millions of lives. But at the end of the day, one of the things that I really like what we've been doing here at AWS is really working and focusing on specific mission solutions, and we partner with our partners and the internal ecosystem within Amazon, right? So not only the SA team, but the TAMs and the CSMs, the sales team, but also professional services and the specialist organization. We pull them all together and we have a unified front to engage our customers, and that's really fantastic. And the next part to that is elevating that, right? Once we're building a solution that meets our customers' needs, can we replicate that in other parts of the world, right? And that's another key thing for me, making sure we're putting these really resilient architectures in place and replicating that architecture to meet other mission needs as well.
Awesome. And you may want to take a moment. I know you have a job that's on your team that one of your hiring managers is recruiting for. You want to take a moment and plug it?
Yeah, so we're currently recruiting for a partner SA to support our national security space. The federal partners basically work with our partners like systems integrators and multiple other vendors that support the federal government space. And this particular role will work with our national security organization to make sure we're aligning appropriately for mission-specific solutions, critical mission workloads, those type of things. They need to be cleared. Obviously, they can come in with a TS clearance, and we can upgrade their clearance as needed. depending on the area within national security they're going to be supporting. But having a diverse background in regards to networking, security, cloud-oriented type of solutions, software development, if you have those type of backgrounds, apply for the role. We're looking for very diverse, unique talent.
Yeah, I think well, we had Jerome last episode, and I think he's on that team and talked a little bit about
Yes.
it. So if anybody's interested, they can get to know Jerome by rewatching episode 3 that we have posted.
Yep. Jerome is the director for the National Security Solutions Architecture team. He leads that organization.
Great. Anybody want to talk about maybe the hardest part of their job here? Where this is about being human, so we can share. It doesn't have to be all roses and flowers.
So we innovate really, really quickly, which is a great problem to have, right? I think it's an awesome problem to have. The thing with that is that we're constantly looking at new ways and new things to do and or how to do things, right? That if I'm not careful, I would start to chase everything, right? Because there's so much new and innovative things that come up. As a technologist, I geek out. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Let me let me follow down this thread and this chain. Let me choke this, pull on this chain and that chain, right? And sometimes I have to catch myself in that geeking out a little bit more and staying laser focused as to what would be most appropriate path to go down from a learn and be curious standpoint to better help our customers as well as, what personally I want to kind of tackle as well. I have to be a little bit more strategic about that.
Awesome. And I'd love to learn more about the personal side from both of you, but just found out a little fun fact that I think Renzo interviewed you, Rayette, and it's one of the reasons why he came in. So give us a little bit about that. What was it
Yeah,
that made you
yeah,
want to
man.
come in?
So we were a lot smaller, and Renzo I think Renzo was like 6 months in, not even a year, I know.
Yeah.
And I was kind of reserved about coming over to the SA role. And I had a couple of colleagues was like, Ray, I come over be an SA, and I was like, let me see, let me see. And then within my interview loop, Renzo was there, right? And we had a great conversation. Of course, he's questioning me, of course, as well, feeding me questions that I have to answer in the STAR method. Everybody answer your questions during the interview in the STAR method. But from that, I also learned, he was conversational throughout it as well. And I learned that he led from the front, right? And he was very passionate about supporting the people that he led, right? And leading from the front as well. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be an essay on Renzo. That's when I made the decision.
So one quick follow-up, how has life been? Like, what is it like for you outside of work? Like, how do you manage both sides, working here and the family? Tell us a little bit about that side.
And I wonder if that hustle is just work, or is that hustle that you have promoting your background, a little bit of your lifestyle outside of work too?
Well, it's not just work. It's totally not just work. I am in total control of my calendar and how I spend my day. At 5 o'clock, unless there's a hot customer issue, I'm out, right? On the weekend, that is my weekend, that is my time with my family. So I do spend a lot of time with family functions and things of that nature. And I again, most weekends I'm volunteering for my church, right? So I work as at the Family Life Center as sort of attendee there, and I'm also a chat moderator doing church service, right, on the weekend. So I'm pretty fulfilled in my life right now, and in that. A key piece of that is that I'm able to control my calendar. I'm able to make sure that, you know, uh, 8:30 to 5, I'm really getting things done and achieving what I need to achieve so that I can tap out at 5 p.m. and enjoy my life.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So, Renzo, I know you're a family man. I've seen the beautiful photos as well. Tell us, how do you manage, that managing time with your family and outside stuff. But what are some fun stuff you do outside of here?
So Rayette's spot on. Time management is key when you want to have that work-life harmony. That's absolutely true. I have 3 young kids and a wife and 3 dogs, and my kids are 13, 10, and 8, and they're full of responsibilities and activities and everything else that they're doing. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, volleyball, soccer. They're doing taekwondo, and a lot of it's just that. Like when I'm not at work, I'm focused on my family and making sure I have that commitment with them because it's critical. We have to have that balance between life and work, and we can't let your work overwhelm your lifetime either, right? Because before you know it, again, my daughter's 13. Before I know she's going to be off to college, and my boys are right behind her, and I want to make sure I have that time dedicated to them and dedicated to my wife too. And then the dogs come with it, right? Having fun with the dogs and participating in activities with them, like walking with them, taking them out for camps and those type of things with the family, I think is important. Just dedicating my time that I have outside of work with my family is absolutely key.
Awesome. So I have some rapid fire questions for both of you, but since I have you on screen, Renzo, why don't
Sure.
uh, why don't we start off with you? Like pick a number between 1 and 13.
All right, let's go with 3.
3.
Yes.
So I actually answered this one. I was like, what do you do for your downtime? Pick a different
Oh,
number.
all right. Sorry. Let's go with 10. Let's go with 10.
All right, 10. If you had an extra hour every day, how would you spend it?
That's so funny. It's going to align with what I previously said. I would commit it to my family, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Rayette, your turn. Pick a number between 1 and 13.
Since it's the last day in Black History Month, I'm going to go with 2.
Oh, there you go. Tell us something personal.
Something personal. Let's see. I love, we talked about me managing my calendar. I work right now on a day-to-day basis, and I have a career just so I can be in the beach in Jamaica twice a year. That is my personal item. And so I just love being there. And I have a 2 30-year-olds and a 31-year-old. And we love kind of vacationing there whenever we get a chance. And my husband as well. But let me not forget my better half as well.
Is that your absolute favorite place, or have you visited anywhere else that really was incredibly memorable for you?
I think the only other place was Aruba. I'm a Caribbean island kind of gal. I need blue water and sandy beaches, and that's where I do my 2 steps. So anywhere in the Caribbean is all right with me.
Excellent. Renzo, do you have any plans? Do you have any plans to go anywhere on vacation?
Yes. My wife has cousins and her uncle and aunt that live in Anchorage, Alaska. So we're going to go to Alaska this summer. And then from there, we're going to head out to Hawaii with the family. So it should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. Normally, we try to do big trips, but we've never gone to Hawaii as a family. So we're going to do Alaska and Anchorage this year. And then we're going to go back to our European trips next summer.
Excellent.
Poor puppies are going to be home.
we got doggy babysitters. They'll be okay. They'll be okay.
All right. So we have a question in the chat from Ran Cobro. Thank you, Ran Cobro. The question is, how do you approach working with SMEs? Are they outside of AWS?
That one's for me. I'll take it. So, first and foremost, we as SAs, we have a large tech breadth, but we're not expected to know everything in every tech domain, right? So we have solution architect specialists that we can go to, SMEs TAMs as well, that we can go to get assistance in a particular tech domain that we feel like we need an assistance with, or a particular service that we lack, knowledge with to help guide our customer in an appropriate manner. And most of the time, they're all internal for the sake of this conversation. Whereas I am empowered, right, to reach out and get anyone involved that I need to get involved to help our customers achieve their goal, right? And a lot of times we have systems and processes to get that done. Or sometimes it's just I have a friend and he's depth is in for example, databases, and I can ping them and say, hey, can you come in and help me with my customer? And they would gladly and happily do so.
Excellent. So, yeah, we have a few more minutes left. We're going to start to wrap it up. But before we start wrapping it up, Rayette, I'll start off with you again. And what's the biggest learning for you throughout your journey here? And what are you hopeful for in the future?
My biggest learning since I've been here, um, the biggest learning, interesting. So I think my biggest learning since I've been here has been, um, it's not a tech issue or a tech item here. It is actually the use of the two-way doors that we have here, right? I was a little ashamed at first to kind of get something started, get something rolling, out of fear that it might not come out the way that it would. I think it would be a mechanism that I was working on, and something like that. But here at AWS, we have two-way doors. If it's going down a path that you think you probably have to start over from scratch, or maybe that wasn't the proper way of handling or going about that mechanism, we got that two-way door to walk in and out of as necessary.
Excellent. And Renzo, for you, what have you learned about yourself as a leader? Looking at, feedback from those that report to you. I know we have Forte where we give each other feedback, right? What have you learned about yourself throughout this time?
Well, I will say that I am hyper dedicated to my team, making sure they're successful. And if you focus on your team and you do what's right for your team, they're going to take care of the customer. And we are customer obsessed, and to me, that's the goal, right? Engaging with the customers, making sure we're helping them achieve their mission. But taking care of your team is the utmost importance to me. And if we do that correctly, if I do that correctly for my team, the end customer is going to benefit from that. So I'm going to continue doing that because I think that's the right thing to do.
Excellent. Excellent.
Could we double click for Rayette on that question? If you could elaborate on two-way doors, sounds DevOps related, question mark.
That's DevOps related, can be for sure from a technical standpoint, but that also is business related too, or mission related too, or mechanism related. So maybe I have an idea in my mind of how we can really help our customers to converse and conversate with one another through a particular mechanism to help them kind of understand where other customers have had success in implementing something. I can kind of draft up a one pager or a PRFAQ and kind of walk through that. But also, if it's not going in the right direction, we can kind of refine that and or step back a little bit, and maybe it's not the best approach. Maybe another approach is better, and we can walk back out of that door.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I know we have just another minute or so left. Just want to, close this out and just thank you both for coming here, being our guest today, but also Renzo for introducing us to Rayette and the rest of your team. They're phenomenal. We got to learn so much about them and what they do here, but also what made them awesome. This whole podcast was to give insight as to what makes people successful here and what does it take to be successful here, but to go from here, what does the future look like, but also how do you get here. So that's really important for people to know. So again, thank you everyone. This was episode 4, and we look forward to seeing you next week. So have a great one. Take
All
care.
right, take care. Bye-bye.